Okay, let me try it again. Yes, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. We were experiencing a little trouble there. It wasn't letting us go live. Welcome to Inquiring Minds. Once again, hope everybody is doing well tonight. I'm Hialeah Comic Bro, and as always, I am accompanied by Conquistadork Javi. What's going on, Javi?
Hey man, how's it going? How's it going? That's right. We were trying to go live. They can't keep us. You can't keep us back. You know, we're gonna go live.
You say that so tough. I was like, oh no. But it's awesome, dude. We got a lot of good people in the chat already, man. Welcome everybody. Who we got?
Welcome. We got some amazing people in the chat already. Unruly Simon, Comic Head 84, DS Comics, Big Remo, Immortal, Biggie Shaq, NWO, Comics for Thomas, H36 Chambers Tattoo Studios, welcome. Everybody else rolling in. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a great night.
Welcome, everybody. Let me introduce our guest. As always, our special guest of the evening.
That's right.
What's going on, ManCave?
What's up, my boys? Now, special implies something different for my group, so I'll try to not to take offense. All right, I won't mention the R word because I don't want anybody to get offended.
No. I had a friend that used to always ask me, Raul, does your mom know you're special?
Yeah, I tell my kids they're special all the time, and they know what I'm talking about.
They don't understand, right? They don't know that. They go.
Oh, they do. I've made it. Yeah. Hey, man, you guys. You're scraping the barrel, man. You invited me on, but I'm glad and I appreciate it. Thank you. Bro. And I see my boy Biggie.
There's Biggie.
84, Unruly. Yeah. A lot of good guys here.
Yeah,
with nothing better to do except
exactly. It's NWO representing.
Yes, indeed.
Hey.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'll try not to pull a Vernon on this live cast.
No Vernon. No Vernon. Everybody knows what a Vernon is.
I heard about that. I only heard about it when this guy did a I Hate You Vernon episode. I was like, what's this?
Oh, and then you found out what it was and everything?
Yeah. Because he was so pissed off, the whole thing got crashed because of this guy.
Oh, it was Jiggs. Yeah, it was John Jiggs.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah. You got to be careful who you invite in your chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never know, man.
That's right.
What's up, Stay Puff? ManCave, I just want to start that I found out about you in one of the most enjoyable videos of, I think it was this year, the one you did with Biggie.
That was real fun. That was my first appearance, man. Before that, I was like Metarog, sort of in the shadows.
In the chat, man, you guys were a dynamic duo. I had a blast watching that video. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it, Javi?
Yeah. I saw it.
The chemistry that they had together, it was like, dude, who is this guy? It was a trip. Your son is like, we were off backstage right now. We were talking to your son. Dude, he's baby girl. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, it's all right, man. When I was watching it, I was so new to stuff. I didn't know I could look at the chat. I didn't have it. So I only looked at it later and looked at all the chat much later.
Oh, and then you reread it, and
reread all the comments, and
that's
everybody's
right.
crazy.
That's when I upgraded my security system with Unruly and lurking out there, because he's been living in the crotch, so you got to watch out for those guys. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's the one where he said he was asking you about your alarm system.
How strong was my alarm system and security?
Right, dude. That was so good.
Yeah, that was good.
Where do you live, and how strong is your security?
Yeah. Just wanted to know, asking for a friend. Yeah. He cracks me up, man. I watched Unruly on this same thing, man. It was just fun to listen to, and Biggie Shaq and a bunch of them, man. It's good stuff. I got a lot of catching up to do, man. I have, now that I have more time, I probably can watch more stuff. So get the back issues. Yep. So,
but anyway, I love that. I want to kind of start with that, man, because your contest, that's how that all came about. That was Biggie had won prize number 2.
Yeah.
You had a great contest. I think Bubs won the first prize.
Well, there was no first prize. Only 5 people entered, and I just said I was going to give 2 prizes out, and I just sort of put 2 stacks together of 2 slabs, and then I said the prize was tell me what you're trying to get or what you're interested in. I already knew what Bubs was interested. And in my mind, I was like, maybe I'll give something more if I can help you meet your goal. And
did you ever?
And yeah. And when Bubs, he had a Captain America, I think it was 107 that I gave him, and that he won. And I had I know he likes good girl comics and bad girl comics and any girl comics as long as they look good, because he has good taste. So I got that Schoenberg cover that, I just said, hey, he'll like this. And Biggie, I knew he wanted Golden Age Superman, so I have a few of them, and I had him there. And little Gorell, Biggie, if you're in there, you got to thank my son, because he's like, why don't you give him that one? And I was like, yeah, what the hell, I'll give him that one. So just pulled it out and said, send him up. I'm like, I'm gonna, it's good stuff, man.
Your son has good taste, man. That cover, that cover is amazing.
Yeah, that is an awesome cover.
Yeah, that is a great cover, man. Now I'm on the lookout to get it back some point. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
It's like, I know Biggie just got his Captain America, but I gotta tell you, it's that Superman that I'm in love with. That Superman's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a classic cover. That's one of my favorite Superman covers, period. Did
it hurt you when he said that, when he picked that one?
No. I could have said, hell with you. I ain't giving that one. Yeah, I was feeling generous.
Oh, yeah. What was the other one? There was a Turok, was it?
Swamp. Yeah, he got a Turok. Both of them got Turoks because I have a lot of dinosaur comics, And
dinosaurs.
And Biggie got a number 9, Swamp Thing, number 9. Nice Bernie Wrightson cover. And Bubs also got a Turok comic. Yeah. Old Turok, not Turok number 1 Valiant. Yeah, whatever. It's like, I got it, but it's like, who can, I just have a soft spot for Indians shooting dinosaurs for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I love
There's some there's some pathology there. We could analyze it, but
we can really dive deep into that.
Yeah. Well,
you also had a cool way of picking the winners.
Yeah, my dice, because one of my other loves growing up, big time, even more than comics for a while, was role-playing games, D&D and stuff like that. So I have all that TSR D&D stuff I haven't touched in a long time, and so I have 20-sided dice, 10-sided dice, whatever. So I thought I'd just roll dice. Who needs these computers? We got dice.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like,
I'm surprised more people don't use that. Is that?
Yeah,
I knew it. Look.
That's right, man. Yeah, I'm one of the few people who. I have a good friend in LA and another one in DC. They're both successful guys. And we went to Vegas, and when one of my friends lived there, and we barely went to the casinos. We played D&D the whole time. This is really lame. It's going to lower my
yeah, that's pretty lame, bro. But that's, you know what? I could see myself doing that.
Yeah. Well, I used to play growing up, so it was fun getting back. You don't have that opportunity.
I have a oh man, it's not about me, but I have a great story for that, man. This is how bad me and my friend were. We were like in our early 20s. And I remember we went to a strip club right here.
Oh, yeah.
We went to a strip club. We were there about 5-10 minutes tops. And we would look at each other and go, dude, let's go home and go play Sega hockey. We went back home and we just started playing Sega hockey. Fuck the strippers, man. I want to play Sega.
Strippers cost money. Playing video games, that's
free. I'd rather play freaking video games. That's us.
Yeah.
That's the community. If anybody stumbles into this is the community you stumbled on.
That's right, man. When you're a nerd, you're a nerd. You just gotta embrace it.
Embrace it to the fullest.
That's right.
So you have a freaking impressive collection, dude. You have a beautiful room that you've done a tour video on your a tour video, and they're impressive. You got some books recently from DS, I saw.
Yeah, I got one. I got Werewolf by Night, the 32 on an auction a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but
yeah.
How did you get into comics?
Okay, yeah, comics. Well, that's starting. My mother's best friend, actually, I was like 5 or 6, and we were at just a drugstore, Rexall Drugs. It's like a pharmacy, and it had comic rack there, and she just said, everybody go get a comic. It's on me. So I went and got it. And it's funny you ask, because I did keep a few historic comics there just in case you asked me. Historic.
Awesome, man.
This isn't the exact comic, but Thor from the Bronze Age, number 1.
Damn it, a 9.8?
No, it's not the original. The one I bought originally is Dust in the Wind, man. I was like 6 years old, so that was gone.
Yeah, that's good.
But I knew the comic well, so I just got this later on.
Yeah.
I loved dinosaurs as a kid, and it had a dinosaur on the top, so that was it, man. That's awesome, man. That's sort of why. And then after that, my mom, I hated reading. I hated school, hated reading. So my mother said, she noticed I like comics. She's like, if you read comics, I'll buy you whatever comic you want. So that was it, man. Next thing you know, freaking comic collector at the age of 7. And as long as I read them, so reading through comics, it was actually a good thing. So I bought a lot of the Gold Key Toroks, were one of my favorite early on.
Right.
But DS, speaking of DS, this is the first. Not this one, but I bought this from DS. So once again, every comic I bought when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, long gone. But this is the first comic with superheroes I remember ever buying in a comic store. This one right here.
Wow.
And I love this comic. I just would look at it all day. I couldn't really read at that point, and just it instantly I was a Marvel fan with that. It was just, XMen 100 fighting each other. And when DS was selling that, I was like, you know what? I've been meaning to get that for a long time. And it was a good grade, so I just said, heck with it.
Nice. You're a big slab guy, huh?
I have, so comic collecting in the 70s, I bought comics, read them. We would go out. I'm from New Mexico, so we went to the Rio Grande River. I would take all my comics with me and sort them out on the ground, the beach near the river. So what condition these suckers were by the end of that kind of treatment. But I just would take them everywhere. And at some point, I got out of it a little bit, and they just disappeared, like my kids' Pokemon cards type of thing. Yeah. And then like 2 years later, a good friend of mine was into it. He was actually drawing comics, and I got back into it again. So I just started buying a lot of the late 70s, early 80s comics.
So how long have you been back into the?
So I collected then, and I had those when I started collecting at around 10, those I kept for a long time. I had collecting from then till I was about a teenager, and then I got into girls, sort of got away from comics, but my younger brother kept into it. So he kept buying comics like crazy. And these are actually, I'm going to show you some comics he actually bought in the comic store. Oh, I left one of them around. Now these are a little later. These are when I was in college, but we were buying, so this is one I actually bought. Oh, wow. Mile High Comics. Nice. So we were in college together. We went to the same school, and we ordered everything we could from Mile High Comics. And so this one actually survived college and going to school and everything else, along with this one as well is one I originally bought back in the day. God. I have a Spider-Man 300 8.5 grade, and that one we bought in the comic rack. We didn't actually get that from Mile High. But my brother actually bought like 2 of each comic. He was sort of an early speculator. He's that guy that bought like this McFarlane shirt I have. I probably have 20 of these fuckers. I'm like, what do you have so many of these for? He bought all those. He bought Death of Superman, so I had a bunch of copies, which I just gave away. But he had some good comics. And up until 1995, I'd say I was really collecting. Mm-hmm. And then I just got too busy with life and whatever. Yeah. But I was wise enough to say, I'm not getting rid of these. My wife sort of has a warehouse where she works and stuff, and I just wrapped 2 skids of comics in plastic wrap and stored it there for like 20 years almost. Like we're talking 1995 to 2000 to 2012 maybe. Yeah. Wow. And I was so I really got back to modern comic collecting at around 2010. So I didn't get the comics from the warehouse though till a little later. I just was buying comics, and I was in a store one day and I was just like, "Hey, baby, yes, I'm being interrupted here."
It's all good.
No worries. It's all good.
You need something, babe?
Kenny 84 is here.
We got comics on the mind. Kirk, what's going on?
So I saw this and I had to get it, man. I saw it slabbed, and in a store, I was like, you know what?
Awesome.
What grade is? Oh my God! Wow.
CBCS.
You saw it in the shop?
What's that?
You saw it in the shop, like
yeah. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh man, I can get that." So I pulled the trigger. I had no idea of was I getting a good deal or a bad deal. It was like, holy cow, that's Daredevil #1. I got to get that. And and then it started. Then I started being smart about it, though. I realized, okay, you could really be, if you're not smart about comic collecting, you could go broke real fast. Yeah. So, it's so slabs I keep as a a way to maintain and have a comic and be able to display it on my wall like you've seen on my videos. Yeah. But I still had tons of raw comics, and my kids weren't reading them so much, so my brother's kids really like to read. So my big little Garel and me loaded up like 50 long boxes of comics in a van and just drove to Chicago and gave them to my brother, because I'd been carrying them for a long time. So it was like, yeah, you got to have it.
You got to take a turn.
Yep. So I drove them all there. I looked through to see like what was of real value, but man, we handled those comics. But I did get the first appearance of Deadpool I showed you, and the other one. Mm-hmm. My brother had two copies of the first appearance of Deadpool, so a 9.4 and a 9.6. So I traded one in at some point. Yeah. And so I still probably have about 40 short, medium boxes. I can't do long boxes anymore. They hurt my back.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. So I don't know how many comics is in a short box. You tell me, and I'll
about 200.
I think like from 180, maybe 180 to 2 something. Some say 300. Not 300, 150. Yeah,
I say about 150 to 200. That's
200.
And what I collect now is mostly things that mean something to me, or their keys, or I like the history behind them, or something about them, and I like to put them up on the wall here. And I don't do runs and stuff like that, and I respect everybody's way of collecting. It's all good. Yeah. I do have runs, so I loved Valiant comics. I thought they're great stories, so I have most of the runs of that. I have Sandman run. I think Unruly was talking about that with you. I have Dreadstar runs, and random things from the 90s and 2000. And I buy modern comics to read. I'm not interested in slabbing them or anything like that. I'm just reading them. I like the stories, though. Obviously, we're on hiatus with that one, unfortunately. So
you do like a lot of the modern stuff.
Yeah. I have House of X and Powers of X right now stacked up there. I haven't read it yet, so I'm just going to motor through those.
Nice.
You read like independent stuff too?
Oh yeah, I love independent stuff. I'm reading. I've read. I was reading The Walking Dead, Invincible, some of the older stuff, and now I'm reading. My brain's having a brain fart here, but I do have a number of things I'm pulling. Mm-hmm. It's like some weird dystopian American thing. It's something country. I forget what it's called.
Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, Undiscovered Country. Yeah. There's a great comic where it's like a Star Trek, but they're powered by demons. It's a weird comic, but it's interesting. Okay. I forget the company. I'm terrible with names, so like there's some like Bubs. He'll be talking about the artist, the cover, who wrote it. I'm not, I remember Jack Kirby and Todd McFarlane. Then it starts getting real dim at that point. It's like I have not enough space in my head for all that.
It's crazy how much knowledge some of these people in the community have.
I'm humbled because when I watch like the Golden guys on all they know about Timely and Fawcett and the knowledge they have, like DS was in the crowd for a second. And these guys just know so much about. I learn something every time I watch these guys, or how much people know about the modern variants and everything. I just like comics. I like reading them, and if I can, get some and collect them, it's good, man. Yep, my man, Mind the same way. You just like the comics. We're not,
Dude, I'm the same way. I don't have all that knowledge. Speaking of which, Bub had he came from behind to beat Metarog yesterday on Kenny's trivia show game. That was
I've been meaning to watch that on replay because I started watching it, but family stuff, I can't ignore my family, so I had to go do stuff. But I got to watch that on rewatch. So Bubs actually won. Bubs knows a lot.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
I sent him that Schoenberg comic, and then when he went over it, I learned 5 things about it I didn't know about it.
Yep.
It's like, okay, that's cool, man. Maybe I should have sent it to him. It's better than I thought.
I'm exactly like you. I don't know how they remember so much. And like Brian, Take the Time Collectibles, man. Well, he works in a shop, so it's a little bit more understandable.
Yeah.
But I think I could work at a shop and I wouldn't know half the shit that Brian knows.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to, I'd memorize this stuff. I can memorize stuff, you know. But I try to leave room for things that are more worldly useful, but this is just fun stuff. I don't want to be stressing about, do I remember who the artist is and what the quality of paper was. And I respect that, though. I love that.
I like reading that too, but it's just a little too much for me, man.
Yeah, if I like the story, it was good, and if the cover's good, and it has some
even better.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I wish, man? I wish that some of the guys that or read the older stuff that don't read the modern stuff would give it a chance.
Yeah,
I think there are so many stories out there.
Couldn't agree with you more. There are some really good stories. Another one I'm really liking right now is Daredevil. That's a great story. A lot of these modern comics, you give them a chance, there's some good stuff.
Good story.
Like Steve Whiting was talking about God Country. That's a great story. Yeah, the Preacher, all those original, a lot of those independent and the superhero stories are getting better too. I think some of them are getting worse, but you just give it a chance.
You gotta give it a chance.
Even in the 90s, I felt like Marvel relied too much on the heroes and they started getting bad stories, and then they all defected to Image. A lot of the writers, you have to have good writers, even with a good character. You can't just buy all Spider-Man and expect them all to be good. Or because I used to do that, and it started, you're reading and you're going, oh, this isn't even that good. Why am I getting this comic?
Yeah.
But there's good stuff. But collecting, speculating, I'm not into flipping modern stuff. It takes a lot of energy. It's like, I just go for old tried and true stuff for collecting purposes.
So your brother still collects as well?
He does not. His kids still get comics here and there, and he encourages that, and he loves the movies and stuff, but he's not a real collector, no, but he appreciates it, which, why I'm in YouTube now is a little story on that, because I wasn't planning on being on YouTube, but when I had a lot of good acquisitions that I knew he would appreciate, I would send a little video on my iPhone, but the video wouldn't load right. I couldn't just text him a video. It just, So then at some point I'm looking at YouTube, and I think one of the first people I saw was like ETA Nick and some of those other guys. I'm like, oh man, these guys are doing videos on comics. And it's like, you know what? I'll just do a YouTube channel, tell him the channel, and he can look at when I show something, he can look at it there. And he got mad at me though, because I had some with some boobs on it, and he has a young kid, so he yelled at me about that. But
that's a great reason for your channel, man. That's a great reason. Wow.
I think Unruly Simon had a similar story. I think his brother, he was trying to share stuff with his brother. I think that's when I was like, dude, he had the same exact story. I think. Just a way to share what you have easily,
Does he still watch and keep up?
I don't get a huge amount of feedback from him, but yes, he does. He's always a little worried that someone like Unruly is going to come and raid my place, but I'm like, it is what it is.
He's still got some fear.
That's funny because you were mentioning how he was the big spec guy. He would buy the 10, 20 copies of one book, but now he's like completely stopped. Yeah,
I sent him back 10 Spider-Man #1s McFarlane in the bag still. It's like, you do something with these. in the poly purple bag, whatever those bags they had him in. Oh man. Yeah. He got a little crazy at it. And then he suddenly stopped too. He just stopped collecting completely and never really got back into it. But I still love comics. It's fun. And my older son, he likes reading all my modern comics. He's grabbing them and reading them and what do you have next? And I try to get anthologies for him, like just the original Infinity War or this or that. I got a lot of the, not omnibuses, but the smaller ones, whatever.
What does your family think about your YouTube?
Yeah, my kids are always trying to get me to do a lot more, and I'm just like, dude, get off me. Yeah. They want me to do a bunch of giveaways and this and that. And blah, blah, blah. Dad's got to work, man. And my wife, she's the best because she tolerates all my habits and whatnot, So Can't complain about her.
Probably a whole lot worse, bro. You could be in the strip club.
Yeah. I could be wasting it. Well, I told my kids, hookers and cocaine, you're not getting nothing when I die, except for comics. Yeah. It's all go. When I'm 65, it's done.
Oh my god, that's so much. That's so funny.
Just kidding. Don't do drugs.
Oh
man.
Awesome people in the chat for sure.
We got a lot of people, bro.
Let me the other little story about my comic collecting, it did a little weird twist because my parents actually sent me to boarding school in India for 3 years from in the 1980s. So, and they sent me tons of comics, or I'd be like, more comics. They sent me comics and junk food. And I probably had like 2 suitcases full of comics in India, my boarding school. And I left them there. And I've been told by people who went to that school that my comics are still a part of their library, like the huge amount of these comics from the 1980s that are.
That's awesome.
So that was my lifeline to the United States for comic books and junk food and books.
How was your experience there, man? Did you like it?
Great. Perspective. Yeah, perspective. All these people who couldn't find toilet paper and all that. It's like, dude, India, there's no one uses toilet paper in India. It's water. It's like
water. That's
a large part of the world doesn't even use toilet paper. So, not that I ran out of toilet paper and had to go old school India style, but yeah.
Is it your left hand?
It's the left hand, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You better wash it good afterwards. Yeah. Anyways, too much information on that one, but yeah. So that was a weird blip in my collecting, but I have a weird blank in a lot of like commercials from 1982 to 85. I have no idea a lot of times because I didn't see them, and there's a gap in my knowledge.
Have you ever gone back?
I haven't. I've been meaning to though. At some point, the world doesn't fall apart. Yep, I'll definitely be heading back.
Get all your comics back. Be like, hey.
That's like many times I've lost a collection. It is what it is, man. Health and well-being are better. That's what's important. And if someone else reads them, good. Like Big Will leaving comics everywhere he goes. That's that's what that was my big drop. And I brought back a number of fist bump. It can still get you. The affection can still get you with the fist bump. 84.
Yeah, but more fist bumping.
Yeah. Now the better way is the bow, the Japanese style, man. Don't do any touching. Okay. Yeah. So I have some other stuff I pulled, new stuff. Want to check out? I just from the last few months, man. I haven't shown any of these comics.
You haven't been a video in a while.
I saw this one on The Hunt, like that The Hunt. He pulled that one out. I was like, I got to get that. That's a modern horror Animal Man.
Yeah.
Chewed off his face. I love that so much.
Are you slabbed, or do you send them away to CGC?
I do both. So I have a lot of things I send. I buy a lot of raw comics and send them off, and I have a whole bunch that I want to send, but I'm not sending to CGC till after all this stuff happens because I'll probably never see it again if I do that. But I will buy them slab too. I'll make This is a cool one I got recently. I like this one a lot. Sort of apropos to the modern world. I don't know if you're familiar with these comics.
No, I've never seen that.
This is like a catechetical. I can never pronounce it. Catechetical Guild. It's a Catholic group that put out these anti-communism comics and other religious comics too. And this is one of the anti-communism ones. Is This Tomorrow? And it's like communists taking over the United States.
Communism.
What year is that from?
Yeah, what year is that from?
This is from 1947. And they had ones with a 10 cent, without a 10 cent, and just nothing there. But that's like a bubble where the 10 cent would have been. So there's 3 versions with different price tags on it. But
you said 47?
1947. Yep. This is early on. Yep.
94?
47. 1947. Yep. 2 years after the World War II ended.
No, but I'm saying in a 94?
Oh yeah. This is a nice copy. It's a nice copy. These aren't super rare. I mean, you'll see them coming around, and they're interesting. There's like 2 other communist ones.
Speechless, bro.
Catechetical
Guild, and they had like 20 comics. You look it up; they'll have a list of all of them. And there's like there's one called the Red Iceberg where it shows like Uncle Sam in a boat about to hit an iceberg. It's a it's like an anti-communism comic.
Dude, I'm sorry. Wait a second. I'm a 9.4 from 1947.
Yeah.
I mean, where could that have been kept? What did they?
Who knows, man? Yeah.
You bought that? You bought it slabbed?
I bought it slabbed. Yep, I bought that slab.
How does that happen?
He's fucking blown away.
It's you keep your eye out. They're out there. It wasn't terribly expensive. It's not a non-superhero comic.
That's still it's just crazy. That's crazy. What was that other one? I'm sorry. I was just
no worries.
I was flabbergasted there for a second.
You were floored, man, for a second.
Here's one I showed earlier. This is actually a 9.2 from 1950, and this is why I like this one is it's a Mile High pedigree. This is an Edgar Church comic.
Wow.
So Plastic Man.
My goodness.
And that's such a crazy story. I was like, I saw an opportunity. I said, I gotta go for that one.
No biggie. I do not want to catch the gold bug. No.
Yeah, the gold bug is rough, man. I advise you to do it. Unruly saw this one I was trying to show. I just the early mad.
Goodness.
And I like Picasso. This is after Picasso's The Mirror, which is at the Museum of Modern Art, and this is a parody on that painting.
Where is that?
This is 1955.
What number is that?
This is number 22. It's one of the. I think there only went up to like 25 or 26, and then it became a magazine.
Wow.
So it's still a comic at that point. Yeah.
Wow.
And this one I was thinking of Bubs when I got this one. I love this comic.
That is, they're all gorgeous, man.
And look what she says. And just what must I do to get those? It's a great line. Life secret. This is 1954.
Bless, bro. Look at that book.
Yeah, it's a bad girl, good girl. I'm not good girl, bad girl. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, that's a mix. That one's, bro. Freaking 9.2.
Yeah. And
so is this after YouTube, before YouTube? Like
what?
Acquiring these books in your collection?
No, that's been for like the last 10 years. So it's been a while. So yeah. The golden age bug is more recent for sure. I was doing more silver age and trying to get most of the silver age. I love, that's where, when I was a kid, I was hunting for silver age because I never even saw it. If I saw a golden age comic, I'd probably lose. I'd just be in awe. But silver age was sort of the most, I would hunt. I was an original hunter in the State Fair. My mom would take me to State Fair and I would just look for comics. And I remember this guy sold me, my first Silver Age was a Fantastic Four number 10. But this copy was so beat, it had tape all over it. The cover was about to come off. I bought it for I had only $10 and I spent the whole $10 to get it. Total rip. I don't think I could sell it for $10 even now. I wish I had that comic still. I'd show it to you. It'd be crazy. But I was reading it and the cover came off by the time I was done. But it was the first, it was number 10. And I loved it, man. It was worth every penny, even if I got ripped off. I found, finding a Silver Age comic in a flea market. Dude. And that's the first time I heard the word Kirby because the guy selling it's like, yeah, Jack Kirby, man, Jack Kirby. He was a Mexican guy. He's like, Jack Kirby, what I say? Jack Kirby. And I was like, oh, give it to me, man.
That's for number 10, eh? That's
number 10, man. I have no regrets buying that ever. Yeah. But it was a beat up copy. Oh man, tape. When I say tape on it, when you see tape on it on CG, on the CGC, this thing really did have tape up and down it. Like someone just took a Scotch tape and just ran it all the way across the thing. But it was great. Just the feel of it and the smell of it,
Dude, and, you forward, dude.
Yeah. Bronze is my age though. Bronze age. That's
yeah, me too. I think we're about the same age. It's silver and bronze. It's Bronze Age for me, and then Bronze Age and silver.
Bronze, silver. And I mean, I have all love for 90s even because I read when I was in college with my brother, we read everything. Infinity War, all the Adam Warlock, all the X-Men, all the X-Men went crazy. X-Force, X-Factor, X-Men, New Mutants. It was just like you got confused, but we loved it all, yeah.
Well, you brought up a comic earlier, and that's Dreadstar.
Dreadstar. Oh my God, I love Dread. That's a great story too. Jim Starlin.
God,
yeah,
so
great.
good, man.
Great. It got a little wonky towards the end, like the last 10 issues. I still have them because but it's like once they finally beat the guy who was like the Thanos equivalent to do with the white head, you look like Thanos. Basically.
What was that guy's name, bro?
Unruly. Where are you? Who's that guy's name?
Tag him in.
Yeah.
It was the continuity or something like that.
Yeah. And his buddy was like Doctor Strange. He was like a real wizard type and just a great comic.
Z-League or something. Man, that was Javi. If you've ever get a chance, everybody, man. Dreadstar, it's like the first 18 are to find the traitor. Do you remember that? The traitor.
Yep.
So good, bro.
I mean, when he nuked the whole city to get Dreadstar and they went to the basement and they barely survived.
Oh my God, bro.
You remember that? You remember that? Oh,
that's issue 3. That's my favorite issue in the
that
whole
was a
run.
Great issue, yeah. I remember reading that and just being like, "This is awesome." Yeah.
And he's standing in the cover. He's standing in the front like this with the sword, and he's just that's
great.
My favorite comic in the whole run.
Yeah. People don't know. I mean, if you could get that run cheap or get it online, it's worth reading. It's there you go.
That is so good, Javi, man.
There you go, Javi, pulling it out, man.
That's the only issue I have.
Oh, dude, it is so good. You know, the only issue I got a slab of number 1, and I got an issue of number 3 because it's my favorite. I used to have the whole run. I just don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, I have that. As I said, I'm not a run collector, but
me neither.
Sandman comics. Did you read Sandman?
No, I never read Sandman.
Oh, that's a good story too. Sandman and Lucifer is a spinoff. Both really good, well done. And just a good story. It's just really if you want a good story, read it. It's interesting art.
Dude, you're flooring me tonight, dude, because it's issue 3 too. It's one of my favorite all-time comics.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, speaking of your favorite comic, one of my recent acquisitions, you were mentioning, I think, in your top. I love this. Speaking of Jim Starlin.
Oh, yes.
That story just blew me away, man, when I read it.
And I don't have the Avengers Annual, which is like the second one or the first. This is number 2 in the right,
bro. I don't either. I won one on Friday night in comic. Oh my God, dude! In an auction, and it was like the last book he showed, and I claimed it, man.
Yeah.
I've never had
that's
that book.
Great story. That Adam Warlock story is, and funny enough, I didn't read that story in its original. I read it in like a Marvel Masterpiece with Silver Surfer reruns. They had Adam Warlock as a second story in the back, and I read them all in that, and I was just floored as a great story. But it's all the original like Magus and Thanos Adam Warlock story was really good too. Good stuff.
That story
was amazing, man.
Starling was the dude. When I met him, I was so freaking nervous. The first time I met him, I was freaking. The second time, I was over it. I wasn't fan, but the first time, I was like, oh, it was like, I guess meeting Kirby, but to me, it's Starling. It's like it was amazing meeting him.
He's an interesting. His art is interesting, but his story writing, I think, is great too. Yeah, it's
great. You could tell about Starling art. He has that long torso.
Yeah,
he tends to draw the long torsos and stuff, the shorter arms and legs, but it's still beautiful to me, man.
Big fan.
Yeah, huge fan. Oh my God, yeah. That annual. When you watched the Infinity War and Endgame and all that, didn't it kind of remind you to that issue? The whole Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody getting involved, and Spider-Man was sort of pathetic though. Didn't he sort of get hurt in the final battle? He had to pull him out on a stretcher, and he had a little bandana.
Come on, man. It's still so good, bro. It's still so good.
Yeah.
I I hope I get that book tomorrow. I want to read the first part because I've never read the first part.
Yeah. And one little story. It's it might be apocryphal, but my mom. One of the reasons she loved comics too is she had a lot of comics as a kid.
Oh, wow.
And she was born like 1939, so she had later 40s comics. But her sister, who's 8 years older, purportedly had every comic. So her sister was born 1931. So I can only imagine what the hell comics she must have had.
Oh my!
And the story goes, my sister's husband convinced her that she was too old for comics and to get rid of them. And when she was like in college, so she got rid of God only knows what. According to my uncle, she had all the Superman, Batman, Shazam, and every Captain Marvel. My uncle, who knows?
Yeah.
But even if she didn't have those, she must have had a crazy collection. It's one of those stories that are dime a dozen if you talk to people of that generation, though, really.
Yeah.
Everyone went off to war and their parents got rid of the comics or something happened.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody had a Superman, an Action Comics #1.
Yeah. So I have a few other ones that I got recently. So I was trying to finish a Hulk run.
Oh.
What number is that?
This is number 5. I don't have number 6. That one's eluded me. I don't know why, but I have number 5.
God.
Wow, man.
Dude, you just never know what somebody has. Oh my God. What?
Number 4.
Number 4 there.
What?
Just trying to get my silver and sort of a beat up number 3.
Wow. I'll take number 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Geek says he knows where there is a number 6. It's rough though.
Yeah.
And number 2. Now this is actually PGX 4.5. I bought it for what you would probably buy a 3.5 CGC, so I feel I got a good deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean I could take a chance and de-slab it. It might be a 3.5 knowing PGX, but I don't usually buy PGX. But this was if it's anywhere close to 4.5, I got it definitely way lower than market value. And
did you get a lot of these when you first got back into the hobby? Like
yes.
You said you got back in 2010, right?
2010ish, yeah. I got a bunch.
You got in at a sweet spot right before it really blew up, didn't it?
Don't get me wrong. I spent a good amount of money on comics, but that's a, and these are recent purchases, so these are more expensive. So, but I feel it was a nice time to get back into it. And even then, back then, I was thinking, oh man, they've really gotten expensive. Now if I knew what I knew now, Granted, who knows where the price of comics is going now? I always tell my boys, it's like, I'm not buying this to resell them. It's just this is fun stuff, and I love it. So it's like it is what it is. Yeah,
I totally in agreement with Bob. That's the run right there. That 1 through 6 of the Hulk.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you right now. I was gonna get a Hulk 1, but I used that money I set aside for Hulk 1 to buy something different that I promised I would show to for 84. I was gonna unveil for 84, so I got something different with it instead of Hulk 1. So. Still don't have one.
You already have it?
I have it. But I promised I'd show it one.
And that show's coming soon?
Well, I keep, 84 is not very good at communication. So he says anytime, and then I never hear from him again.
I hope he's hearing. I hope he's listening.
I think it's in the chat earlier.
Too long. I'll just come out and hang out with you or Biggie.
Yeah, man. We'll have Biggie on and we'll unveil that sucker.
Yeah.
But let's get ready for the chance, man. I just hope, if you didn't get a 1 to get something better.
Yeah, right.
I feel like to me, Silver Age, you can get at any time. It's not, it's not cheap. Don't get me wrong. You have to build up money and trade and do this and that. But Golden Age, when an opportunity comes, you sort of just got to take it because those are little. I mean, they come around too, but it's fewer and far between. So yeah, it's rough. So
I can't wait to see that. Unruly wants me to beg you It's not gonna happen. No.
No, I'm just going to show other stuff here that.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Some other things I acquired
So
this year, so we'll keep really happy. This is the comic I originally bought. My brother bought it.
nice.
Newsstand 300. Yeah, this one lasted from 1988 through a warehouse, wrapped in bubble wrap in a hot warehouse over many decades, and managed to stay in one piece.
Hey, Silver just popped in. Silver, if you just got here, I beg you to go back a little while in this video and do the replay, because you're gonna enjoy the replay very much, sir. Some incredible books.
Got this one recently. I love Hitler covers, man, especially when he's getting punched in the face. So, Blue Beetle, 1944.
Crazy.
So,
Oh wow, man, that's beautiful.
That is gorgeous, bro.
this wasn't too bad. The non-crazy hero, here old golden age are much more affordable. When Hitler's on it, the price goes up. That's
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking, you need to go on the Golden Guys show.
But they know so much more than me. I'd feel like a imposter, honestly.
Yeah.
Man. I'm just. But speaking of, this is Biggie. I was going to show Biggie this one. This one is a pretty famous Superman cover here. It's number 24. It's a flag cover.
Wow.
Like there's a few famous Patriot covers, and this is one, and the one where he has an eagle on his arm. You familiar with that one?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, the eagle one, but that is.
What year is that?
This is 1943.
Wow.
1943.
My dad was 6 years old. My goodness.
Now, but I actually did get lucky. This I got a while back when it was much cheaper.
Oh man.
So I did get that one too. This is number 14, the eagle cover.
Wow, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful comic, no doubt. And I was lucky to get that earlier on when price was better.
That's nuts.
Golden is so. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. You can't. Now I've tried to get a few Goldens, and man, their prices go up and up. It's pretty crazy.
Hey, your last video you put out, you were having like a tournament, a poker tournament.
Yeah.
Wait. All the comics were after everybody leaves. Before everybody leaves, do you make sure every freaking comic's still on that wall?
My friends who I play poker with have no idea. They're like, "Oh yeah, what's that worth?" I'm like, $20.
We're just not gonna sit there and what's that? It's just a cheap little comic book. They have an idea.
They may, but it's my security. I have a moat alligators and yeah.
Do they mess with you? Do they mess with you at all? They don't. That's just the decorations. They don't even notice.
It's the decoration, man. It's just a decoration. There's no. I don't have enough friends who like comics. That's the crazy thing. I appreciate the YouTube community because they actually like comics. Because most people I know, they know about comics, and that's about it. It's not. My brother's the one person who, when I showed him my wall at some point, he came visit it. He was sort of like, "Whoa, yeah." He appreciated it.
Yeah.
This community's awesome for that, man. It's like we all found each other.
That's awesome, man.
And I love everybody's the way they collect, man. People get, if anybody gets haughty about their collection or puts anybody down, I've never seen that. If anything, sometimes people give me a hard time, be like, "Oh, you could have bought this if you had done that," and it's like, well, it's all good.
Coulda, shoulda, man. Everybody could say that, man.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Collect the way you want, whatever you want.
I mean, I love watching Tim the Comic Collector when he hunts and finds, or Rayman the Silencer. It's all good, man.
He's great. Tim is too, man. Tim went live today.
Oh, Tim, yeah. And And I appreciate people who can really find good deals. It's tough, man. I've done that even in my local comic store though, where they don't really even realize it's like, that's the first appearance of like the other day they had the first Invaders. I'm like, that's the first Invaders. It's Avengers 87, I think, and they had no idea. It's like, this is actually not a huge key, but there's a lot of it's good stuff. I've done good finding raw comics, getting them pressed and sending them for better grade. Like this one, they had it as a 4.0 giant size XMen here. And,
what?
Yeah. And
wow,
I bought it from my LCS and got it pressed, and it was way better shape than that, obviously. So that's what they were valuing it as. And if so if you look, you can get good deals on expensive comics when they're raw. If you can look at it, I'm not saying I'm a great grader. If you ask me to grade a comic, it's a crapshoot. I've done the opposite too. I had an Avengers 57 first appearance of Vision, and I thought, I got it good. Ended up being restored. I was so irritated. I overpaid for that restored comic. I sent it off somewhere. I was like, I was so irritated. I even had
I thought that was gonna happen to me once, and I was like, oh my god! And then it came back blue, but I was like, oh my god! I was terrified. I thought it had been trimmed, but I wasn't sure, and it wasn't.
Yeah, so. Trimmed. I think it was Bub said if you think it's trimmed, it's always trimmed. I disagree with that 100%. I've thought it's trimmed so many times, and it wasn't trimmed. I got trim paranoia, maybe. I don't know.
But I agree. Sometimes it looks like it's trimmed, and it's really not, man.
Yeah. But Bubs is someone who presses and cleans and really knows what he's looking at, whereas I'm, a bit of a buffoon in that regard. So, yeah, I wouldn't trust my grade over Bubs for sure.
DS and Geek are there for all your pressing and cleaning needs.
Yeah. Well, Bubs too, man. A lot of these guys press and do their own stuff. I don't know if Bubs does it for everybody else. He's all the way in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. You might. I like to give Bubs a hard time, but boy, he'll give it back to me later. So it's
take it, man. Bubs could
give as good as he gets. Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. You wanted to show something else?
What's that?
You have something else?
Oh yeah, I have a few things.
I'm dying to see more, bro.
What got you into Golden Age comics?
Okay, so I have two local comic stores I go to. One is a traditional local comic store that has all the modern comics and figures and things like that. And they have stuff on the wall that I've actually gotten some good deals. That giant size X-Men I actually bought there. Right. And I bought an X-Men #1 there that ended up going from a 2 to a 3 after cleaning. But then there's another store this guy's a vintage comic dealer. He deals in slabs and valuable stuff. He has a lot of old stuff in raw, but he started showing me some war comics and this and that. And I'm just like, that's cool, man. And then I end up buying it. And then next thing you know, I'm hooked and I'm, it's all over. Yeah. What's that?
He has his own store?
Yeah, he has his own store.
Wow.
And he mostly sells, and he deals in old toys, like old, Star Wars, original Star Wars toys and stuff like that. It's all old
high-end
stuff. Yeah. Not all high-end. I mean, he does a lot of non-high-end too. This one I saw.
God bless.
This is was looking for this for a while.
Thank you, big man. I'm sorry, I was stunned. You just gave me a stunner there.
Oh yeah, love that cover. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? That's
wow, and a 9.
Yeah, this is a sweet comic.
Banger for sure.
Bangers.
He's left the center. Thank you for very much.
This one got recently too.
Dude.
I love that battle cover, man. Thor battling or Hulk battling covers. I have a thing for that.
Look at the white, how white it is. My goodness.
Yeah, I think even it's white pages. So even Matt, the boy at 7, would like it because it's white. His requirement is white pages, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show this as I do it. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take my copy down. It's not worthy.
No, come on now. It's all good, baby.
I'm playing. I love my books.
Yeah. And here's another Thor fighting one. I love
Wow.
there with
What's the grade on that one? 8.5, bro. That is a hard book too, man. Wow. Beautiful books, man. Beautiful collection. My goodness. Crazy.
since I'm on a Thor theme. Yeah, for some I've been looking at Hulks and Thors recently. So
You're in Philly, correct?
area. Yep.
Philly area.
Outside.
You're not gonna
Not
find.
in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not going to give anything away.
Yeah, I live in. Did I say Philly? I meant New Orleans. New Orleans. So.
Shit.
Banger after banger. The chat's loving it, man.
Yeah, there's with show comic. We love comics, man, and these are hard times. Just show comics when it's hard,
Yeah. Oh wow!
I love this cover.
That's what I love, man. The Tales to Astonish.
Yeah, this is the first Hulk and Tales to Astonish, and then he becomes a regular part of it, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's.
How many slabs do you have?
I have a little under 500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you look like you picked the right. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Mic drop. Wow.
Yeah.
That.
Superheroes battling. When I was a kid, I loved superheroes battling superheroes. Some of my favorite comics, by far, were those stories too. This one is one of my favorites for sure, right here. Daredevil versus. If you've ever read this story, it's a great story too.
Wait a second. Let me put that. There it goes.
Wow, man.
Good.
Yeah,
Look at how beautiful the blue is on that.
Yeah, this is and if you've never read this one, the storyline is one of my favorites for superhero versus superhero, because really, should Daredevil be able to stand toe to toe with Namor? I mean,
No, not at all, man.
Submariner, as Bubs and I used to call it, Submariner.
You bring that up. I always think the same thing. What chance in hell does Daredevil have against? Daredevil have against Dr. Doom. I always thought those are the most ridiculous.
Yeah, but somehow they,
Dude, he's Daredevil, man. Come on, he's got his little.
Against Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Give me a break, man. At least make it, somewhat,
Yeah.
I know it's comics, but please, a little feasible.
Now
Wow.
I love the Atlas Submariners and Captain America's. So this is from the 1950s when it was all anti-communism stuff. Again, communist theme. He's taking out the Russians on this one.
Wow, that is
gorgeous.
Move that back a little bit. Just move it. Oh my God, look at that.
And Bubs was pointing out to me the other day that because I was saying I didn't really like Submariner #1's cover that much. I think his anatomy looks a little weird. Then Bubs pointed out that he looks like a praying mantis in the Golden Age, and I didn't have much to say, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Who did the cover on that one? DS was that?
This is actually the famous Bill Everett, the guy who did the very first Marvel Mystery Comics #1 cover, first Submariner. He's a major Golden Age cover writer, and he died in 1973, and I think he was still working up until when he died. Bill Everett, yeah.
Bro, look at that composition of that book, man. It's just gorgeous. The yellow with the Submariner in red, and then the Submariner right in. Oh, beautiful.
Oh yeah, yellow covers are the way to go, man.
The Submariner just pops right off the front cover. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, there's 84 in the chat. That Submariner is mind blowing.
84, man. He doesn't want me. I told you I was going to show the comic. I was going to show 84 if he didn't call me saying that.
We need to call him. We need to see that book that he has. He wants to show. He wants to share with us.
The stream 4.
Yeah. We're all busy, man. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's tough time. So you just do what you can, man.
Oh,
No
look,
pressure, no pressure, comic, no pressure, Kenny. I'm just messing.
Power Hour. This week's Power Hour.
Yeah, I told him invite me on. It will show some stuff, man. We could even play the Stacks game. I have a few Raw comics. We could play that. My Raw collection is definitely a little, just a little deficient for that.
No, I think you're okay with that. Don't worry about dude. That I don't know. Every book was like a one-upper almost, right?
One after the other, banger, banger, banger. You know.
Because I'm thinking about that first one, and then that Submariner is fire.
Yeah,
The composition on that cover is gorgeous. The colors that they chose to make every other freaking thing pop. It's so many layers.
The Golden Age covers were just all over the place in very interesting ways and real cool. I mean, they were talking about it on the Golden Guys the other day, just how interesting the colors are. DS was going on about, just different and just very cool. I mean, I love the Silver Age covers too. Don't get me wrong, but you can recognize all of them in a category, be they DC or Marvel. Whereas Golden Age just had so many interesting various covers and styles, and it was the Wild West, but it was good stuff. All good.
My God.
Yeah. What else? There's comics all over the place.
Look, they're starting to guess, ManCave.
What's that?
That's Golden Age Batman, knowing 84.
Yeah. No, I told him because I said I had a Batman I wanted to show. So it is a Batman. Yes, that's not a secret.
Oh.
It is the Batman. It is the Batman.
90 has the best guesses. That's such old guesses, bro. It's so good.
90,
I'll show a few of those Batmans when I'm with them. So
all right, yeah. Say the Kenny is a fan.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw. I mean, so we got some good Batmans here too. The homage cover. Now I will say I'm not showing Tech 31, just in case you thought I was showing Tech 31 with this. No, not showing that. I wish.
Wow.
Yeah, Tech 31 is a.
Look now. Steve's Batman 30. Man, stop, man. He's not gonna say it. Wait till Friday. Power Hour.
Yeah, wait till Friday. They'll set it up on 84's channel.
No doubt. So yeah, I hope the comic community is doing well, though, man. It's fun to enjoy comics, and I'm really glad you guys invited me.
Thanks.
It's tough times, man, and it's
chat enjoyed all your books for sure.
I'm speechless. I mean, that was impressive. That was.
I want to send some stuff when I get to 200. I'll send some stuff out, man. It's a.
What are your plans for your YouTube channel? You want to get more involved, or what's going on? What do you?
I mean, for me, it's as I said, when I change the wall, I just sort of usually show that, but it's hard to see. I'm thinking of changing that up to like showing the comics and then showing the wall when it's done, because it's all glary. It's hard to see, and I just every once in a while do support videos if people have something going on for something. If and I had a few I wanted to do, but then sort of the shit's been hitting the fan recently, so it derailed anything, But yeah, I have no major plans. I really am not looking for a lot of subscribers. I want people who are interested in comics, and if they want to look at my channel, that's it, man. I'm not worried about getting to 1,000, because if I have 1,000 people watching, I'm telling you, 500 of them aren't going to necessarily be interested when I'd be scrambling. The people who are interested have probably mostly found me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe not. I mean,
I'm sure more are gonna find you.
What's that?
I'm sure more are gonna find your channel.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like I said at the beginning, when I saw you with Big, it was a great show, man. So and tonight's been a blast.
Yeah, it's fun.
It shows that you like to be live. I hope I get to see you more live.
Maybe I'll figure out how to do it myself.
Hey,
little Gorell's my person who set me up. This is his computer, actually. I don't have a computer good enough. I actually stole my son worked and bought his own computer, and here I'm stealing it from him. But he's making me pay rent now, the little crap. Little does he know I'm going to make him pay rent to stay in my house. Kick him out. He thinks he can pay me rent. He's got another thing coming. I'll smack that boy.
I couldn't do it myself, man. 90 had to come over here and help me and show me how to do it. So
yeah. It's I haven't been looking at the chat, man. Is the chat being good?
The chat's being great, man. They're freaking loving it.
These hunters.
Bubs, I'm gonna have to. I missed you, Bubs. I know I started watching your contest yesterday against Metarog, and they were all saying Metarog's going to win. But I know you know your stuff, man. Bubs is no slouch.
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. I had to leave. I had to leave when you answered. I think it was who was the first appearance on Amazing Spider-Man 129. I was like, that's when I had to go. So
it was the beginning. You have to go watch that.
What were the difficult questions?
Oh God! I think there was like number. Watch the show.
Who needs to recap that? Yeah, that's a bad question. Yeah. Watch the show. And I'll
nice. So,
Rick said, "I've been trying to drive, and ManCave is throwing lightning bolts around."
Here's another one I was just pulling out because we were talking Batman. Rasha Ghul, or however you pronounce that.
There's like a million ways, right?
Yeah, right.
Date stamp right on his face, but I know Unruly Simeon's a big fan of date stamps,
Hey, it's still 9-0 though.
Did you ever watch Unruly's video railing against date stamps? It's pretty funny.
Unruly dude. Punisher. No, it's not that. You didn't watch the show, or did you? You were there. 90.
We don't have to ask the. You were talking Tales. You like Tales to Astonish, Conquistador, Javi?
Oh yeah. Tales to Astonish, Strange Tales. Oh yeah. That's a Steve Whiting book right there.
The old Tales.
That's the pre-superhero.
Pre-superhero Groot, Monster Groot.
Never see that book, man. That's like a Bigfoot kind of book,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty uncommon.
Oh man.
Man.
First appearance of Hank.
Wow.
That's Hank Pym before he was Ant-Man, technically.
That's right. Yeah, it's
yeah, Steve's freaking out.
It's good stuff.
A Groot.
That's a great movie too, man. Great movie.
You see him at the theater. You're all into the movie.
Usually, not every time. Sometimes I miss it, but Guardians of the Galaxy was when it first came out. I'm like, how are they going to make that interesting?
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
That was one of my favorite movies. Honestly, it's just
they knocked it out of the park.
Really did.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they do that with the Eternals.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
This is one I bought raw. But
hey, finally, a book we share with the same grade and everything. Thank you.
There you
go. There is hope. I have one of those too. 9.4. Nice.
Yeah. I bought it raw a long time ago. When it suddenly got all crazy, I sent it off to get graded, and I was hoping to be higher, but yeah, whatever. 9.4 is good. I'll take it, man. I love it.
When it came back 9.4 because I bought it for nothing.
Yeah. That was one of my better deals if it holds out. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's but I still read. As I said, I still love to read them, and I have the collections of a lot of these, and I hope the medium survives. It's going to go through a little turmoil right now. The whole. I mean, I don't want to sound foolish, like I'm only worried about the comics, because the whole world's going through turmoil right now. So it's like whatever. We'll just survive at the other end, right?
Right.
You're worried about the shop. I'm worried about the shops. I hope the shops survive.
I am too. I'm worried about everybody. I'm worried about shops too. Whoever people. When I go to the grocery store, I'm like, you be careful, man, because they're exposed. They're on the front lines like anybody.
Yeah.
It's rough right now.
We are spoiled, Ryan. I hope you all know that.
Oh hell yeah, I know that for sure. Spoiled, but we're blessed also.
Yeah, absolutely. you have perspective, man. I'm not complaining. If I lost all this tomorrow, if I'll know where to hunt for Unruly Simon. But if I, it's like health and families and everything else is the important thing.
You ever look back and you think like sometimes I do this? It's like I can't believe I'm still collecting comic books at 50.
Not only do I do that, but I look back and say I'm just so. I mean, my younger self couldn't imagine all this stuff right now. It would I'm in awe, just like how lucky to just be able to have all this, man. It's just
be alive at this time, right? Be
alive at this time, and you don't even have to walk out of your house, but to get stuff, it's crazy. I mean, I'm searching. I couldn't find anything at a flea market. Now, like, you can go to convention, you can go online, there's comic stores. I mean, there weren't a lot of comic stores when I was growing up. Did you have a comic store when you were a kid? I had one, Don's Book Exchange, but it was like all the way across town, and they had some good comics. But when
I was a little, maybe around 10 or 11, is when we found out about a comic book store, and there was only one. Yeah. We're blessed, man. I do the same shit. It's like I never would imagine this, but look at this. We're talking comics at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night with 14 other beautiful people that love the same thing we're into, man. My dad's mind would probably go bonkers if he knew this, but whatever. It's all good, man. We're blessed.
Your dad would lose it if he saw this?
No, he would just be. It would boggle his mind, He'd be like, he'll probably think, what was I doing at 50, and he'd be like, look at my son.
Hey, man, you got kids, you got a family, you're doing well, man. He'd be proud.
He'd be happy too. He'd be proud. I know.
Yeah. If my mom had anything to complain, I'd be like, it's all your fault, man. You got me into this. All the comics I can read.
Yeah, you could go straight to her, man. There's nobody else.
I mean, I was like the comic keeper. My brother and I in India, people would come, be like, can I read comics? Be like, oh yeah, and we'd be open, and everybody just come and read, and then go, and it was just like, it was a big hub of entertainment for people.
You were the guru, right? You were
the comic guru. Isn't there a comic guru? The Golden Age guru. Yeah, the Golden Age guru. Yeah, he has some crazy that guy.
Dalai Lama. You were the Dalai Lama back in your day.
Hey, Biggie's asking if you could show off that Hulk #2 again. If you didn't give it away.
It's buried here a little. I put them in a big pile here, so real careful, like a good collector.
Yeah, very good. Show the Hulk 2, please. Look at how nice he acts too, right? Show the Hulk 2, please.
Oh, what did he say? The Hulk 2, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
The Terror of the Toadmen.
It had that. What's his name? Mr. Albert Dorn's art.
Artist too, or art, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at how well that presents, man.
Yeah, it's definitely, it has like a big smudge here, and we'll see. I mean, I'd be tempted to break it and try to see, but honestly, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
Leave it the way it is. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not.
Crazy.
I mean, if I was looking to sell them or later flip them, maybe I'd try to press and all that stuff. But I'm not such a. If I have a high grade, great. If it's a low grade and presents well, fine too. I'm not a grade snob like some people can be. But if you're a grade snob, nothing wrong with it.
It's okay if you're a grade snob.
Yeah. If Matt Boyas sees us later, it's no big deal, man.
Snob all you want.
Snob what do you want? You get what you collected. You want to collect that, you collect it, man. There's no pressure, man.
There's no pressure, dude. All right. I wish we might. Oh, well, we gotta have you on again, dude. This has been great. You gotta show some more.
Yeah, sure.
But we've been going on for an hour and 15 already, so I
have a bunch of boxes, and
I'm floored, man. I'm sorry, Baby Gorilla couldn't make an appearance. He wouldn't play video games.
Yeah, he went off, and who knows where he is. I'll make him run a few laps around the block. He's just sitting here all day now, not going to school, man. I'm like, it's time to put him on a fitness program, man.
Give him a short box or something.
Yeah.
Short box. I hope to see you, ManCave. Hopefully this Friday on the Power Hour on 84 with Biggie.
Is it Friday? I always forget. When is it?
Yeah, it's usually Fridays at 9. I'm sure 84 is gonna hit you up on IG after this.
Sure. And thanks for having me on, Hialeah. I wasn't expecting the invite. I mean, I know I made that comment. You're like, you should come on. I was like, all right, sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate the whole
thing. Everybody that's part of the community in here. And you have some great books, and we wanted to showcase that off also.
Crazy books.
It's fun. Good stuff, man.
Books that you don't normally, man, you just don't. And you answered me on Instagram in perfect Spanish.
Un poquito. Necesito practicar más.
Oh my God, dude! He wrote it perfect. I can't write it that well. He put everything perfect. I was like, wait a second.
I lived in New Mexico. I grew up in New Mexico, and I lived in New York City for 6 years in Philadelphia. And my wife and I used to go salsa dancing a lot of merengue, salsa, and bachata. So,
but that's better than me. And I'm Latin, and I'm horrible, man.
You're Cubano, right? Cubano?
Yeah, I'm Cuban.
Yeah.
Cuban and Puerto Rican.
There you go. Boricua y Cubano. Yeah.
All right. Javi, you got anything going on? Javi, you got anything going on?
Tomorrow,
Javi,
yeah.
You Hispanic too, or what? You look like you.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican.
You're Puerto Rican, all right.
Yeah. That's what he was talking about.
¿Hablas español or no?
Sí. Hablo español, yeah.
Un poquito. Ok, Javi, ¿qué tú tienes para tu canal esta semana?
Oh, man.
What do you got for your channel this week coming up?
Tomorrow, we got Oprah Boys Book Club, the Conquistadork Comic Book Club. We'll be reviewing some books. I'll have Derek Hyde on there and Comics on the Mind, Kirk, Mind Shifts. You guys know him. He'll be on there as well as our special guest. And hopefully this Sunday we'll be sticking to our, usual Silver Age Sunday routine and then going from there.
Awesome, dude. ManCave, hopefully you on 84 on Friday. I'm gonna try to do it. What is it called? Afternoon Delight on Friday at 1. Let's see if that goes through.
Nice. I wish I could see more of those because I'm always working, man. It's a tough.
It's okay, good. Man. I know it's in the afternoon. I know it's in the afternoon.
So 84's comment if you can.
Yeah, he's another Renaissance man. Exactly.
World traveling, salsa dancer, bilingual grail collector.
You gotta say it like a wrestler. He's a world traveling.
I don't know.
Grail collector. That's what he is.
Oh,
a little NWO. Thanks, Unruly, man. Thank you so much.
Take it easy, Unruly. Take it easy, everybody.
Everybody in the chat, everybody's going to see this on replay. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate everyone, and be safe and be good.
Take care.